Thanks for joining us. Dusty Sonnenberg, field leader with Ohio's Country Journal and the Ohio AgNet. We are on the Ohio Field Leader Roadshow up in Haviland, Ohio. That's Paulding County at the farm of Roy Klopfenstein. And Roy, thanks so much for having us today.
It was a good day, great weather, great crowd, and great food. So what could go wrong?
Absolutely, that is good. Well, for our viewers, tell us a little bit about the farm.
Well, we're primarily grain, corn, soybeans, and this year some wheat for the first time in 10 years. Also, we do a custom harvesting business, mainly corn silage.
Very good. So we are in, as we're recording this, it is, I guess, early still, July, wheat harvest going on. You guys do any double cropping of soybeans?
You know, we do not. Most of the time we put wheat in, it's so we can do additional work on the field, whether it's earth moving, tiling, land planting, something of that. So our target fields for wheat usually have ulterior motives with that.
Talk a little bit about the growing season we've had so far in this part of the state.
Well, the good thing about farming, nothing's the same.
Yeah.
And every year is unique, every year is different, and this one is another unique one. Started out a little on the wet side, maybe pushed the envelope a little bit like farmers do, getting crops in. Went in really quite well. Anything that was in moisture and didn't have any weed competition or cover crop growing had the moisture to come up. So we have pretty good corn stands. Went about 4 weeks with really no rain, and must be putting down a lot of roots because it didn't grow up much, both corn and beans. But now that we've got a little rain, corn is still short, relatively speaking. The old adage, 4th of July is 4th of June now.
Yeah.
But corn looks good. I think has some decent potential. Wheat has soybeans has a ways to go.
Yeah.
Very short growth, but we know August is the month for soybeans, so let's see what August brings.
Very true. Talk a little bit about some of the different market options in the area where you're located here. Quite a few different directions you can go with your grain.
We're in a good area basis-wise. A lot of markets, whether it's ethanol, the Poet plant, the Valero plant, and then we have the livestock market, which takes a lot of corn. You know, livestock is done very well, especially south of us. So a lot of it will go to the livestock market. Sitting with a couple Bunge plants when it comes to soybeans. So we're in a very competitive market, a lot of good market options. Both corn and soybeans, our basis does pretty well here compared to other folks.
Good. Well, aside from farming and all the activities you have going on, you also take time out of your busy schedule to serve on the state legislature and also on the House Agriculture Committee. Recently, the state budget was passed, and a lot of provisions in that apply directly to agriculture. Maybe highlight just one or two that you think will be beneficial to farmers.
You know, the first one I would say is still tax cuts. When you look at the taxes that Ohio farmers are paying and Ohio businesses are paying, and when I say the everyday citizen, if he'll buy a T-bone instead of a cube steak, it's good for farmers.
Sure.
If he'll buy a little more higher end beef or pork or chicken or turkey, it's good for farmers. So a tax cut benefits all the consumers, and we're in a consumer-driven business here. The great thing about ag, you got to eat again tomorrow. So, but if back to the budget, I would put the tax cut at the top of the scale. Certainly after that, the things that generate the most discussion tends to be education. In our rural area, we have great schools, not so much of an issue, but sometimes we look at our own backyard. We don't have an issue, but the issue in education in a city area trickles out, and they need to be graduating students. They need to be teaching students that will come into our workforce, because we're short workforce everywhere across the state. It's in the rural areas, it's in our ag community, and we see immigrant labor coming in, and that used to be something just for very large livestock units. It's everywhere now. We can't find the labor force. So there's some good things in there for technical schools. There's some good things in there for education that we hope brings the standards up in the cities, and not to pick on them and single them out, but we need good quality students coming out of every school. So education's a big part of the budget, especially on the technical side, the technical school side. After that, you get into water quality for us, and that's big. What else do you say? But water quality is important.
So we want to touch on that, the H2 Ohio program, and where your farm is here. It's part of the Maumee and ultimately goes into Western Lake Erie Basin and all the issues there. You guys participate in H2 Ohio, but looking at it from a state legislature standpoint, what are some of the comments maybe you hear among some of the other legislators as it's being discussed? Obviously, you see it firsthand, not only on your farm, but in the area. What are some of the comments in Columbus, though?
Well, when you come in, and we'll go back to the Toledo area or that Lake Erie waterfront, tourism's a big business there.
Sure.
And certainly clean water is part of that, the tourism. Also, their drinking water. We understand everybody wants clean water to drink. They want a great place to go to the beach. Mm-hmm. We get that. H2 Ohio has brought some awareness. It's brought some solutions and maybe some challenges to agriculture. We're going to have to work through those. Nobody wants dirty water, and if they do, I haven't met them. But having said that, at the end of the day, we can't quit producing. Agriculture still has to make a profit. And all these practices that are being tried or promoted or improved on supply cheap food. That's what people want. Yeah. Quality food, that's what people want. There's a balance here between agriculture, the city folks, tourism, and we have to keep working that balance and telling our story.
Well said. Again, we are on the Ohio Field Leader Roadshow. We are in Paulding County. My guest again today, Roy Klopfenstein. Roy, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Dusty. Thanks for the work you do.